Welcome everyone, and thank you for spending this quiet moment with me today. This is a story about blaming others and slowly losing control of life. It is also about one moment of honesty that changed everything. If you ever felt angry, stuck, or treated unfairly, this story is for you. Stay with me, breathe slowly, and let us begin this journey together. He always believed life was against him since childhood. Nothing ever seemed to work the way he wanted. When something failed, he pointed at someone else immediately. "It is not my fault," he would say again and again. If he was late, traffic was the problem. If he failed a test, the teacher was unfair. If work went wrong, his co-workers were careless. Blaming others felt easy and comfortable. It protected him from feeling weak, but it also kept him from growing. Every time something went wrong, anger filled his chest. He would complain loudly to anyone who listened. Life felt heavy and unfair every single day. Deep inside, he felt tired of being angry always, but he did not know another way to live. One evening, after a long, stressful day, he walked home slowly. The sky was dark and the streets were quiet. His footsteps sounded loud against the empty road. He replayed the day in his mind again. His boss blamed him for a mistake at work. He blamed his coworker for giving wrong information. His boss did not accept his excuse. "Take responsibility," his boss said firmly. Those words stayed in his mind like an echo. "Take responsibility." He shook his head angrily. "It was not my fault," he whispered. "But why do they always blame me?" he added quietly. When he reached home, he dropped his bag roughly. He sat on the couch with heavy breathing. Anger filled his body like fire. He grabbed his phone and started scrolling mindlessly. Videos played one after another without meaning. Minutes passed, then hours passed silently, but the anger did not leave. It only grew stronger inside him. Suddenly, his phone battery died. The screen went black instantly. He stared at it in frustration. "Great. Just perfect," he said angrily. He threw the phone on the couch. The room became quiet suddenly. No noise, no distraction. Only his thoughts remained. He leaned back and closed his eyes slowly. For the first time that day, he truly felt tired. Not just tired in his body, tired in his heart. Tired of being angry, tired of blaming, tired of blaming. Tired of feeling like a victim always. He whispered softly, "Why is my life always like this?" The room gave no answer, but another voice slowly appeared inside him. A calm voice. "What if it is not always others?" He opened his eyes quickly. The thought surprised him. "What if I also made mistakes?" the voice continued gently. He sat up slowly, feeling uncomfortable. He did not like that thought. It felt scary, it felt heavy, but it also felt honest. He thought about the mistake at work again carefully. His coworker gave him information, but he never checked it himself. He rushed and submitted it quickly. He never took time to confirm. He swallowed slowly. Maybe I also played a part. The thought made his chest feel tight. He remembered being late many times. Yes, traffic was bad, but he also left home late every morning. He remembered failing that test years ago. Yes, the teacher was strict, but he also did not study properly. Each memory hit him quietly, like gentle punches of truth. He realized something slowly. Blaming others helped him feel better for a moment, but it never fixed anything. Nothing ever changed. The same problems kept coming again and again. His life was not improving. It was repeating. Anger slowly turned into sadness. Sadness turned into reflection. He whispered quietly, "Have I been running from responsibility?" The question felt heavy but real. For years he protected himself with blame. But blame also kept him weak. It stopped him from learning. It stopped him from growing. It stopped him from changing. Tears slowly filled his eyes, not loud crying, just quiet tears. Tears of understanding. Tears of truth. He wiped his face slowly. "I never thought of it this way," he whispered. The room felt calm again. Not angry calm, peaceful calm. For the first time, he felt a small spark of hope. If he could take responsibility, maybe he could change. Maybe life was not against him. Maybe life was waiting for him to grow. The thought scared him, but it also excited him. He took a deep breath slowly. "What if I try differently tomorrow?" he asked softly. The idea felt new, different, but possible. That night he sat quietly for a long time, thinking about his past, thinking about his choices, thinking about his future. He understood something important. Blaming others gave comfort, but responsibility gave power. Power to change, power to grow, power to build a better life. He lay down slowly, feeling tired but peaceful. For the first time, anger was not in his heart. Only understanding, only calm, only a new beginning waiting. And that was the moment everything started to change. The next morning arrived quietly, carrying a different feeling inside his heart. He opened his eyes slowly, thinking about last night's realization. The words about responsibility echoed softly inside his mind again. For once, he did not feel angry when remembering his problems. Instead, he felt curious about changing his actions. He sat up calmly and took a deep breath. "This is where I start," he whispered quietly to himself. He walked to the window and looked outside slowly. The sky was bright and peaceful, like a fresh beginning. Birds moved freely across the soft morning light. He felt something new growing inside his chest. Not anger, not fear, hope. Hope that life could be different. He went to the bathroom and washed his face gently. The cold water made him feel awake and clear. Looking in the mirror, he spoke softly, "I will stop blaming today." The words felt strong and real. He dressed calmly instead of rushing like before. Every movement felt more intentional and slow. Before leaving, he paused for a moment. He asked himself quietly, "What can I do better today?" The question felt powerful, not blaming, not complaining, just choosing. At work, he arrived early for the first time. The office was quiet and peaceful. He sat at his desk and reviewed his tasks carefully. Instead of rushing, he checked everything twice. When he noticed a small mistake, he fixed it quickly. Before, he would have ignored it. Now he took responsibility immediately. During the morning meeting, his boss spoke calmly. "We had an issue yesterday," she said softly. His heart beat faster for a moment. He raised his hand slowly. "That mistake was mine," he said honestly. The room became quiet. His coworkers looked surprised. His boss looked at him carefully. "Thank you for being honest," she replied. "We will fix it together." Relief washed over his chest gently. The world did not fall apart. No one shouted. No one blamed him harshly. Instead, they respected his honesty. He realized something important. Taking responsibility did not destroy him. It actually freed him. Throughout the day, he stayed focused. He checked his work carefully. He asked questions when unsure. He did not rush. He did not blame. He simply tried his best. When a problem appeared, he did not complain. He thought calmly, "What can I do to solve this?" Each solution made him feel stronger. Each effort made him feel proud. At lunch, he sat quietly and reflected. Life already felt lighter. Not because problems disappeared, but because his attitude changed. He was no longer a victim. He was in control. After work, he walked home peacefully. The sky was soft and warm again. He smiled gently while walking. "This feels different," he whispered. At home, he cleaned a small mess instead of ignoring it. He prepared a simple meal slowly. Each action felt meaningful. He was taking responsibility for his life. Not just work, everything. Later that evening, he sat quietly on the couch. He thought about how small choices changed the day. One honest moment, one responsible action, one calm decision. They all added up. He realized blame kept him stuck. Responsibility moved him forward. He whispered softly, "I choose growth." The words filled him with confidence. He knew challenges would come again, but now he had a new way to face them. Not with anger, not with excuses, but with courage and responsibility. He lay down peacefully that night. His heart felt calm and strong. Tomorrow was another chance to practice, another chance to grow, another chance to become better, and this time he was ready. The next morning felt lighter, like his heart was no longer carrying heavy weight. He woke up calmly, remembering yesterday's choices with quiet pride. Instead of rushing, he sat quietly and breathed slowly. Responsibility was becoming a peaceful habit inside him now. He whispered softly, "Today I will do even better." The simple words filled him with steady strength. He walked outside and felt the cool air gently touch his face. The street looked the same, but he felt different inside. At work, challenges appeared like usual throughout the morning. But this time he faced them calmly without frustration. When something went wrong, he fixed it immediately himself. No excuses left his mouth anymore. Only action followed every mistake. His co-workers slowly noticed the change. One of them smiled and said quietly, "You seem calmer lately." He nodded gently and replied, "I stopped blaming." The co-worker looked surprised but impressed. "It suits you," she said warmly. Those words made his heart feel proud. During meetings, he listened carefully and spoke honestly. He no longer hid behind excuses. He shared solutions instead. His boss noticed his confidence growing daily. "You've improved so much," she said kindly. "Keep this up." Her encouragement felt better than any comfort before. He realized responsibility earned respect. Blame never did. At lunch, he sat quietly thinking about his past. How much time he wasted being angry. How many chances he lost blaming others. Now he felt grateful for the change. Not perfect, but real. After work, he helped a coworker finish a task. Before, he would have complained. Now he simply helped. It felt good to be useful. It felt good to care. On the walk home, he noticed the sunset again. The sky was colorful and calm. Life felt peaceful in small moments. He whispered softly, "I am growing." At home, he cleaned and cooked without complaining. Every responsibility felt lighter now, not a burden, but a choice. Later, he sat quietly and reflected again. Each day was becoming better slowly, not because life was easier, but because he was stronger. Stronger through responsibility, stronger through honesty, stronger through honesty, stronger through effort. He smiled gently and closed his eyes. "I will keep choosing growth," he whispered. The journey was not finished, but it was finally moving forward, one responsible moment at a time, one honest choice after another. And he felt proud of himself for the first time in years. The days continued passing with steady calm and clear purpose. Each morning he reminded himself about responsibility quietly. Each night he reflected on his actions honestly. Slowly, his life started feeling more balanced. Problems still appeared like before, but his reaction was completely different now. When mistakes happened, he fixed them quickly. When confusion appeared, he asked for guidance. When stress came, he breathed slowly. Instead of blaming, he solved. Instead of complaining, he learned. His confidence grew stronger every day. Not loud confidence, quiet confidence, the kind built from effort. At work, his performance improved clearly. Tasks finished on time, mistakes became fewer, solutions became faster. His boss trusted him with bigger responsibilities. "You've changed a lot," she said one afternoon. "In a very good way." He nodded humbly and smiled softly. "Thank you for believing in me," he replied gently. Her words motivated him deeply. He realized responsibility opened new doors. Blame always closed them. During one busy day, a big problem appeared suddenly. A project had serious errors. Everyone looked worried. Before, he would have pointed fingers. This time he stepped forward calmly. "Let me help fix this," he said confidently. He worked carefully with the team, checking every detail slowly, solving each issue one by one. Hours passed quietly. Finally, the project was saved. Relief filled the room. His coworkers thanked him warmly. His boss smiled proudly. "You handled that very well," she said. He felt proud inside, not because he was perfect, but because he took responsibility. On the way home, he reflected quietly. There was a time he would run from problems. Now he faced them calmly. Life felt easier this way, not because challenges disappeared, but because he changed. At home, he continued caring for small things, cleaning, organizing, planning, simple habits that built control. He felt more peaceful every night. Anger no longer lived in his heart. Only patience, only growth. One evening he thought deeply. "What if I never stopped blaming?" he whispered. His chest felt heavy imagining it. Life would still feel unfair, still feel stuck, still feel angry. He felt thankful for that moment of honesty. That moment changed everything. He smiled gently. "I am glad I chose responsibility," he said softly. The journey was not perfect, but it was meaningful. Each day he became stronger, not physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. He understood now. Blame keeps you small. Responsibility helps you grow. Growth brings peace. Peace brings strength. He closed his eyes calmly that night, grateful for how far he had come, ready to continue becoming better, one responsible choice at a time, one peaceful day after another. And he knew deep inside, this new life was here to stay. The following weeks slowly shaped a new version of his life. Each day began with calm intention and clear purpose. He no longer rushed through moments blindly. He lived them carefully. When difficulties appeared, he welcomed them as lessons, not punishments. He asked himself gently, "What can I learn here?" That simple question changed everything. Instead of fear, curiosity guided his actions. Instead of anger, patience filled his heart. One afternoon, a coworker made a mistake that affected him. Before, he would have shouted or blamed loudly. This time he paused and breathed slowly. He walked over calmly and spoke kindly. "Let's fix it together," he said softly. The coworker looked relieved and thankful. Together they solved the problem quickly. The moment felt powerful, not because of control, but because of understanding. He realized responsibility also meant kindness, not harshness, not pride, just teamwork. As days passed, people trusted him more. They asked for advice. They asked for help. They respected his calm nature. It felt strange but wonderful. He was becoming someone others depended on. At home, his relationships improved too. He listened more. He spoke gently. He admitted mistakes without fear. Arguments became conversations. Stress turned into solutions. Peace slowly filled every corner of his life. One evening, he sat quietly and thought deeply. "How did everything change so much?" he whispered. The answer came clearly inside him. The moment he stopped blaming. That moment gave him power back, power to choose, power to grow, power to build. He smiled gently. Such a small decision created a big transformation. He realized something important again. Life does not change suddenly. People do. And when people change, life follows. He felt proud of the progress. But he stayed humble. He knew growth was a daily choice. Some days would still be hard. Some moments would test him again. But now he had tools. Calm, responsibility, patience, honesty. These became his strength. Before sleep that night, he whispered softly, "I will keep choosing better." The words felt strong and real. He closed his eyes peacefully. Another day completed. Another lesson learned. Another step taken forward. The journey continued quietly, but powerfully, and he was ready for whatever came next. One responsible choice at a time. One calm breath after another. Building a life he was proud of. Slowly, steadily, Surely. One morning, a new challenge appeared unexpectedly at his workplace. A deadline was moved earlier without any warning. People around him started complaining immediately. "This is unfair," someone said loudly. "They always do this," another added angrily. He felt the old habit trying to rise inside him. The urge to blame, the urge to complain. He paused quietly and took a deep breath. "This is hard," he whispered softly, "but I can handle it." Instead of joining the noise, he opened his notebook. He wrote down what needed to be done clearly. One task at a time. One step at a time. The pressure slowly became manageable. He walked to his team calmly and spoke gently. "Let's plan together," he said confidently. Surprise showed on their faces, but they nodded and gathered around. He divided the work carefully and fairly. Everyone felt relieved with clear direction. They started working with focus and teamwork. Hours passed quickly with steady effort. Problems appeared, but they solved them calmly. No shouting, no blaming, only solutions. By the end of the day, the project was finished. Everyone looked tired but proud. His boss walked over with a smile. "You handled this beautifully," she said warmly. "You turned stress into success." Those words touched his heart deeply. He realized responsibility also made him a leader, not by force, but by example. On the way home, he felt grateful again. Life still gave challenges, but now he knew how to face them. With calm, with effort, with courage. At home, he sat quietly and reflected. Before, this situation would ruin his day. Now it strengthened him. He smiled gently. "I am not the same person anymore," he whispered. He understood something new. Every challenge was training him to be stronger, training him to be wiser, training him to be better. He no longer feared problems. He welcomed them as chances to grow. That night, he wrote another note in his journal. "I stayed calm under pressure. I led with responsibility." Reading it made him proud again, not proud loudly, proud quietly. He closed the notebook and lay down peacefully. His heart felt strong and steady. He knew the journey was still long, but he trusted himself now. He trusted his ability to face life. One choice, one challenge, one victory at a time. And with every day, he was becoming unstoppable, not by blaming, but by owning his life fully. The change was real, and it was lasting. He drifted into sleep calmly, ready for whatever tomorrow would bring, ready to continue growing stronger, one responsible moment after another. The next few days tested his patience more than ever before. Small problems appeared again and again, unexpectedly. The computer froze during important work. A coworker forgot an important detail. Traffic delayed him one morning badly. Each situation invited blame quietly, but he paused every time and breathed slowly. "This is my chance to practice," he whispered softly. Instead of getting angry, he focused on solutions. When the computer froze, he restarted calmly. When details were missed, he corrected them carefully. When traffic slowed him, he planned better next time. Each response made him stronger inside. He noticed something surprising happening slowly. Problems felt smaller now, not because they changed, but because he changed. His mind felt clearer than ever before. His heart felt steadier than ever before. One afternoon, his boss gave him a new project. It was bigger than anything before. Responsibility filled his chest warmly. Not fear, not doubt, trust. "We believe you can handle this," she said kindly. He nodded calmly. "I will do my best," he replied softly. He started planning the project carefully, breaking it into small steps, one goal at a time. Each day, he worked steadily. Some parts were difficult, some parts felt easy, but he stayed patient through everything. When mistakes happened, he fixed them immediately. When confusion came, he asked questions. Slowly, progress appeared. Day by day, step by step, his confidence grew quietly again. Not from praise, from effort. from effort, from consistency, from responsibility. After many days of steady work, the project finished. He reviewed everything carefully one last time. Everything looked clean and strong. He sent it confidently to his boss. Later that day, she called him in. He walked calmly into her office. She smiled brightly. "This is excellent work," she said proudly. "You've grown so much." Her words filled his heart warmly. "I couldn't have done this before," he admitted softly. "But now you can," she replied kindly. That moment felt powerful, not loud, but deep. He walked out feeling proud of himself, not because he was perfect, but because he stayed responsible. On the way home, he thought about his journey again, from blaming to understanding, from anger to calm, from weakness to strength. He realized something clearly. Blame kept him stuck in the same place. Responsibility moved him forward every day. He smiled gently while walking. Life felt different now, not easier, but meaningful. At home, he sat quietly and reflected. "I am becoming the person I always wanted," he whispered. "Not overnight, not magically, but slowly, with effort, with honesty, with responsibility." The journey was real, and it was working. He closed his eyes peacefully that night, grateful for growth, grateful for change, grateful for that one moment of truth, the moment he stopped blaming others. That moment gave him his life back. And he promised himself quietly, "I will never go back to blaming. Only learning, only growing, only moving forward, one responsible choice at a time." The morning sunlight gently touched his face once again quietly. He opened his eyes calmly, feeling strong and peaceful inside. No anger lived in his heart anymore. No excuses lived in his mind anymore. Only responsibility guided his actions now. He sat up slowly and breathed deeply. The air felt fresh and full of possibility. He smiled softly at the new day. Life was not perfect. Problems still existed, but he was no longer afraid of them. He walked to the window and looked outside calmly. People were moving, working, living their lives. He felt ready to live fully too. "I am in control now," he whispered softly, not controlling others, but controlling himself. That was the true power. He remembered how life felt before. Heavy, angry, unfair. Now life felt lighter, clearer, more peaceful. Not because others changed, but because he changed. He realized something deeply important. Blaming others gave comfort for a moment, but responsibility gave freedom forever. Freedom to grow, freedom to improve, freedom to build a better future. He picked up his notebook one last time. The pages were filled with lessons and victories. Each line showed progress. Each line showed courage. Each line showed effort. He read them slowly with gratitude. "I faced problems calmly. I fixed mistakes honestly. I chose growth every day." Tears filled his eyes gently, not sadness, but pride. Pride in becoming better. Pride in choosing responsibility. He closed the notebook carefully. The journey was not over, but he was ready for whatever came next. He looked at himself in the mirror softly. "You're stronger now," he said quietly, "and you will keep growing." He stepped outside into the bright morning. The world felt open and hopeful. He walked forward confidently, with calm steps, with a strong heart, with clear purpose. Life would still challenge him, but now he knew how to face it, not with blame, but with courage, not with anger, but with action, not with excuses, but with responsibility. He understood the truth now. Every problem is a chance to grow. Every mistake is a lesson. Every challenge builds strength. One choice at a time, one step at a time, one day at a time. Summary. He learned that blaming others kept him stuck. He learned that responsibility gave him power. He learned that calm thinking solved problems faster. He learned that growth came from honest effort. He learned that changing himself changed his life. Thank you for staying with this story until the end. If this story helped you feel stronger and clearer, you can tap the subscribe link in the description. Practice taking responsibility step by step every day. And remember, your life can change the moment you stop blaming and start growing, one simple choice at a time.